So today we are going to be reacting to a tier list. We're going to be reacting to a tier list of WNBA players. And this is an interesting tier list because they are obviously in a bunch of tiers. It's not just like A, S tier, etc. And it is shout out to Twitter account. I think it is Dano Mataya. And yeah, let's take a look at this right here. And before we get onto it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 23,000 subscribers by the end of the day. So I've seen a few of these tier lists and yeah, let's take a look. So, checked out early before the holidays. I mean, to be fair, Alyssa Thomas has not been up to much recently. She has not really been up to much recently. And then you've got the first original tier, Deep Sigh. You have Christy Wallace. Christy Sides. I'd put Erica Wheeler down here too. I'm not gonna lie. I'd put Erica Wheeler down here. Is Erica Wheeler in this tier? USA Basketball. Yeah. Alicia Clark. Fair enough. Oh, I feel bad for Lou. She's really struggling this year. I mean, what a career trajectory from playing in France to playing with the NAB Academy and Colester Basketball Club 5 minutes down the road from where I live right now to the WNBA top 5 pick. She is just struggling. He's just struggling. I'd put Erica Wheeler down here. Then you've got the Arike tier. Wow, Kelsey Plum got added into the Arike tier. Wow. To be fair, Kelsey Plum has looked awful in some games this year. And plus minus is the most misleading stat ever. At the same time, people will use that. But yesterday Kelsey Plum had a higher plus minus than Aja Wilson. But yeah, Arike and Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd is the most overrated player in the WNBA. She has a true shooting percentage. Sorry, not true shooting. Her effective field goal percentage is 39. Effective field goal percentage. People talk about Caitlin Clark's low shooting percentage. She has a 10% lower effective field goal percentage than Caitlin Clark. Good job, good effort. Anyone that I dislike in this tier, which is kind of one of the lower tiers. Yeah, fine with Katie Lou, Vandersloot. I mean, yeah, she's just gotten old. Fair enough. And obviously, I'm guessing there is the hottest seat award. Yeah, I mean, Christy Sides, how she's still in the job is beyond me. Fun as hell. So you've got half the Washington Mystics team in there. Walker Kimbrough. I'm such a big fan as a player of Julie Vanloo. You know what? JC Sheldon is hooping. I can't lie. JC Sheldon is starting, she is hooping recently. Sophie Cunningham, I think, should be maybe behind. I read actually as far as offensive rating is concerned, it was the stat that said that Angel Reese is a better offensive player than Caitlin Clark. The offensive rating one had Sophie Cunningham as the second best offensive player in the WNBA. I'd have Dane Evans out of this tier. But yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd probably have Sophie Cunningham up a tier, to be honest. I do think she is a more than solid player. Let her cook. So it's hard to put an all-star in this lower tier now, isn't it? It is hard to put an all-star down there. You got Wickham. Okay, who else is in this tier? Jane Melbourne. I mean, Camila Cardoso. Jane Melbourne is someone that's she was struggling to start the year. She struggled early in her career, but it's good to see her starting to play well. But yeah, I'm telling you, the Mystics. But at the same time, as good as she is, she's what? She's not as good as Walker Kimbrough. She's not as good as Aaliyah Edwards for her team. She's not as good as Vanloo. She's one of the 4th or 5th best players on her own team. So I don't hate that tier that much. Cardoso, I mean, look, I actually think genuinely Cardoso, the last couple of games, yesterday I thought Cardoso was a much bigger threat for Chicago than Reese was. Just because I think she gave Aja Wilson a lot of trouble on both ends of the floor. I think she's, when it's all said and done, it's going to be interesting because they both need to improve on different things. Angel Reese needs more offensive game, and she has. Cardoso's so dangerous, whereas Angel Reese has just got the highest motor in the league for a post player. Whereas if you gave like Angel Reese's motor to Cardoso, they'd be the best post player in the league right now. Or if you gave Cardoso's size to Reese. And we've got the big dog tier. Putting Phoebich in big dog. Wow. I mean, I get it. She can score or she can shoot, but that is wild. That is absolutely wild. Like, come on. Come on. Like, look, Phoebich is great. Phoebich is great. But, like, as good as she is, she's not as good as Alicia Gray, who you've put into a lower tier. Dejanay Carrington, I don't mind it. I'm not a fan of Alyssa Smith with the way she's been playing this year. I like Alyssa Smith as a player, and I think she's an all-star somewhere other in Indiana. I don't really see her fit because she's just... The problem is you've got 3 terrible defenders on the floor at all times. Or 4 terrible defenders on the floor at all times for Indiana. And you can't really have that. You can afford 2. But again, not a bad player. I like Dolson. I think Dolson's shooting is great. Marina Mabry either looks superb or garbage. There's no in between. Like, Cloud is playing unbelievably well. Okay, Rakia Jackson's in this tier. That's a bit interesting. I really rate Ariel Atkins high. I don't know why. Maybe it's... I've watched the Mystics play enough times. I really like the Mystics as a team. I think Ariel Atkins is really good. Dewana Bonner should also be... There's no way. I think Ariel Atkins has to be... Like, putting her in the same tier as Phoebich is odd. But I genuinely, if you're asking me who I would bring for Team USA, Ariel Atkins would be in there. Just for the defense as well. I think she's superb. And yeah, Ariel Atkins is better than Diana Taurasi and Kelsey Mitchell. Come on now. Come on now. Then you got the elite tier. Jackie Young, Nneka, Bree Jones. Don't mind this. Aaliyah Boston. I'd move Taurasi down a tier. But it's like, who is probably the weaker in that elite tier? Jackie Young not being in whatever the top tier or Breanna Steward is odd as well. Like, if I was to bring anyone up, I'd probably bring Bonner up, maybe, or I'd probably bring Atkins up and Taurasi down. Is there anyone else I'd bring down? Like, I hate to do it. Because it's going to get me some hate. But Dewana Bonner up, Angel Reese down. That is, like, as far as like for like or positionally for forwards, I think Dewana Bonner is better. But, like, you could also bring down Aaliyah Boston there. Just forward for forward. But then I've also got Kelsey Mitchell up there. No, screw the positions. Keep Angel Reese up there. Bring Kelsey Mitchell and Diana Taurasi down. That's what I would do. And move Dewana Bonner and Ariel Atkins up. Again, I'm just a huge fan of Ariel Atkins as a player. So I just got to give credit where credit's due there. And also, shout out to... I couldn't find it on Twitter, but it is from a Reddit post. Shout out to Dano Matea. I wish I could find, because I know it's on Twitter. I just could not find it for the life of me. But then you got the MVP tier. You see, I agree. You know what? I'm going to agree with Kennedy Carter up there. Just make her the logo already. Yeah, like AJ Wilson's probably going to be the go. I do think her game yesterday was empty calories for a lot of that game. Like, but then again, like Kelsey Plum did her best job of losing the game. I would put Jackie Young up a tier. Like, if I'm talking about my top 5 MVP candidates, it just depends on what way I would rank the MVP. So for me, I would say Ages, obviously she's won the MVP. My second right now would be Sabrina Ionescu. My third would probably be Collier. Fourth for MVP. Kayla McBride, move her down a tier. Again, I like Kayla McBride. I like Erica Hamby, move her down a tier. There is no way you can tell me with a straight face that Derek Hamby has been better this season than Breanna Stewart. You cannot tell me that with a straight face. And Jackie Young better than Kaylin McBride, but I don't hate McBride up there. But what would my top MVP rankings be? I'll do all these videos at the end, but as of right now, it would be Asia, big gap. I think this is what I had for my top 10. I had, and this is before the game yesterday, by the way. For anyone thinking, oh, I'm just out here putting Kennedy Carter in the tier. This was my top 10 for the year. I had Asia, big gap, Collier, Sabrina, Copper, Breanna Stewart, Jackie Young, Alyssa Thomas, Caitlin Clark, Neko Wumake, and Kennedy Carter. With these as my honorable mentions. Oh, I was going to say, did I forget McBride in the honorable mentions? But yeah, that would be my top 10. So like, there's 2 in the MVP candidate, in the MVP tier that I wouldn't have in my top 10. And then to be fair, with the way Sabrina's been playing, maybe she ends up going to number 2, but I don't mind it. But yeah, I do like the Arike tier. Because it is just shot chuckers. There are just plenty of shot chuckers out there. And I don't mind that. Kelsey Plum being put back in the Arike tier is crazy. But like, that game yesterday was as bad an individual game as I think I've ever seen in basketball history.